From time to time, everyone gets into an imbalance regarding their health, their healthy habits, and their food selections. And often we'll call this disordered eating. It's when disordered eating spirals into a coping mechanism that's being used in conjunction with other emotional issues that are arising in people's lives. So an eating disorder then begins to develop and is basically a perfect storm where a person is experiencing some emotional issues in their life and then using food restriction or other food behaviors that are detrimental to their physical well-being as a coping tool. And that's when you're moving into an actual category of an eating disorder. The categories of eating disorders is changing right now, and that's because of the diversity of the illness becoming more prevalent in other populations. So where we think of eating disorders more in terms of just the teenage adolescent, the female patient, now we know that that is no longer the case. Eating disorders are being found in children, males, older adults, and because of this prevalence, the diagnostic criteria and the categories of eating disorders has expanded. So beyond anorexia nervosa, bulimia nervosa, binge eating disorder has been added to the eating disorder diagnostic manuals, as well as avoidance restrictive disorder, which is a category which helps to put more of the children type and pediatric eating disorders into their own category. Pediatric children may have these food resistance and avoidant issues that have become eating disorders, but not necessarily coupled with body image distortion that is classic in some of the other categories. So that clinicians, families, and all of those who are treating and working with people with eating disorders now have much better criteria and specific diagnostics to get people in the right direction and in the appropriate treatment that will lead to the best outcome in terms of recovery. I think the most powerful and exciting aspect that's been changing as of late is the awareness that we're seeing. We have much more awareness of the illness, and the more that we can get out there in terms of education is the key to early intervention, and that results obviously in improved outcome and full recovery. So we're looking at educating children in schools, educating teachers, school counselors, coaches, parents, physicians, all of those who are interacting with others, watching them, even peers of other kids and whatever, that can look and see, you know, are there unusual behaviors going on? Is this something to be concerned about? And then steering people and directing people to the appropriate professionals that can intervene and get the treatment going as soon as possible. We've never had as much awareness as we've had presently, and I think that's just continuing to grow. Of course, as your prevalence increases, so does your awareness, but sometimes people get complacent with that when it becomes more prevalent. So it's necessary that we keep the education out there and heightened so that people don't get a little complacent because they see a lot of it, so they don't understand and recognize how serious it is just because it's becoming more prevalent and accepted. So we really want to keep the education and the awareness up there at the same level to get the people in the care that they need and get the disease off to full recovery as soon as possible.